and welcome back to the QRLS. We are moving right along in our week one of the regular season. We have finally made it to our match of the week. Rangers, led by Waffles, is going to be taking on the Mustangs, led by Chop. Rangers making it all the way to the preseason finale before just falling short. Mustangs getting knocked out in round two by the eventual winner, the Hammerheads. Got to imagine this is a flag with a matchup. These both of these teams are projected to be very good. And speaking of very good, I'm partnered with a very good free agent, Zyrek. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right today, but honestly, listen, I'm just happy to be here. I got an amazing co-caster with me. I do really want to talk about some of these teams. I mean, Waffles leading, like you said, Waffles leading the Rangers. Don't know if they're going to be followed by A72 Temas and Mr. Rebel, or if Taz is going to make an appearance. But when it comes to the Mustangs, I think their best roster they can play with is going to be Chop Jr., Chiwigo, and F-150 Greyhound. So I think this is going to be a pretty exciting match, and I understand why the admins here put this as the match of the week.
Yeah, exactly. You got to imagine on the side of the Rangers bringing in Taz, the big 270 QRLS rating. You're going to want to use that if you can. So I'd imagine we see Taz play. I believe Rangers likes to mix up their squad a lot. We noticed in the preseason finale, every time they lost the game, they subbed out somebody else. So it doesn't necessarily matter if we start off with Artemis Rebel, but we might see everybody play on the side of Rangers. And for Mustangs, you know, I have actually yet to see this team play, so I'm excited to see what these guys have to offer. Um, going in, just talking about just preseason. Rangers was a team that everybody kind of projected to go well, and they made it all the way to the final, seeded second, high up in the power rankings the whole way. But the swap from Niner to Taz, I'm looking forward to see how that goes for the Rangers. I think Taz was a good player, but not necessarily Niner quality. Norm did say Niner was his player of the tournament for the preseason, so Taz has some big shoes to fill. But I'm excited to see the Mustangs. I'm relatively unfamiliar with this squad, so I imagine Chop and Greyhound plays. Looking at the roster cap, it doesn't look like actually Chigo and Chop can play with Greyhound. I think if Greyhound and Chop play, Pickle will have to be the third, but we're just waiting to see who will join. We have a few minutes. Zarek, talk me through a little bit. Have you played with any of these guys before? What are their tendencies? What do you like? What do you like about their gameplay?
I mean, yeah, I played a bit with Waffles. So I've played quite a bit of ranked with a fair amount of the Rangers. Um they they're going to implement, or what I hope they implement a lot is passing plays. They seem to be a lot more focused on uh, getting around that first line of defense and being able to focus on just pressure, pressure, pressure. Whereas I think with the Mustangs, we're probably going to see quite a few solo plays come out from Greyhound as well as Chop Jr. I know, and I know our lovely producer Scraps, who's also the who's also the um, production coordinator, will probably tell me if I'm wrong. But I believe Chiwigo was the old captain of the Mustangs?
I have I have no idea. It's you could tell me anything and I'd believe it. But if I was on
Yes,
this, he
that was
was.
he was.
He
Trivigo was the
was.
old captain, and he built a pretty solid team. I mean, they were like I said, they utilized a lot more solo plays as well. So I'm wondering if Chop is also going to try and implement that with this current Mustangs roster.
I think the only tip I can give to the Mustangs roster is Taz coming on for the Rangers. He's new. We actually do have the Mustangs roster in the lobby. It's Pickle, Chop, and Chaigo. It's gonna take me a bit to get that name. I do apologize. I think the only recommendation I have for them, Taz seems to get a little bit frazzled with demos, so don't necessarily recommend headhunting as a strategy for like just going after one person, but getting a couple bump plays on Taz might kind of rile him up, might kind of mess with the timings, mess with the team play, and that might open stuff up as the Rangers do seem to be really dependent on team play. Any way to disrupt that, I think, will be a solid key for the Mustangs. But analysis aside, Zyrek, do you think? Who do you think's gonna win?
I was hoping that question wouldn't come out just yet, but
I always make people. I always gotta know. I gotta know.
I'm listen, I'm honestly I'm gonna put it just because I'm gonna put it on the underdogs, and the reason why I say underdogs when it comes to Rangers is because when you look at their salary cap, their supposed starting three roster only comes out to 495, and all players are less than I believe, yeah, they're all less than 190 rating. So I'd be really excited to see what comes out with the Rangers. I also would love to see who their starting lineup's gonna be.
I think you got to imagine Taz plays. If you got the space to slot him in, like that's just you're leaving a lot on the table there
Absolutely.
if you don't play him. But we are still waiting for the Rangers to join the lobby. They have some time.
Yeah.
We're a little early, but I do I do kind of lean Mustangs here just because I think the gameplay against Taz is a lot clearer moving forward. I think these teams are going to kind of start realizing, especially once the Rangers play a demo heavy team and that kind of gets put on display. Maybe things have gotten better since the preseason. That was a very frustrating series for the Speed Demons. They did play the Hammerheads that did end up going on to win the preseason, and the Hammerheads are a kind of a team that can slowly suffocate you and slowly shut you down. So it could have just been frustration all around. But you know, I think he's got a lot to prove in terms of developing. Also, keep in mind, Taz is also a rookie, so he's the only rookie in this on either lineup. So he does have some time. He does have uh, course of the regular season to kind of get better. And you imagine the Rangers making a deep run in the preseason tournament, you'd imagine they'd make it to the playoffs unless something was egregiously wrong in the regular season. But I still think Mustangs just seem a little bit more solid to me. But I have been wrong before, as Scraps might note from my prediction with their series. I think I went the right way, but I went the wrong score line, and then I think I was completely wrong with the first match against the Bleacher Boys. Bleacher Boys and Hammerhead. So I can be wrong. Rangers fans, I'm not an oracle, so if you I'm probably actually the opposite. So just don't get me talking about someone good on defense because they will immediately concede. So I am the embodiment of the Gaster curse.
I mean, I feel like that just goes for every cat, like most casters at that point. Every time they try and be like, I think this team's gonna make a great save, all of a sudden the ball's in the
I I leave it for a
net.
while and then I think I forget about it. I forget about it and I'm like, I really want to highlight good defense because I find myself as a more solid player. I like to highlight good defense and then immediately they concede. And it's like, ah,
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry. That's on me.
Since we have a little bit more time, one thing I want to say would be pretty, I guess, say sneaky for the Rangers to do is for them to bring out Taz as like a last resort kind of thing. Like if they find themselves struggling on offense or even on defense, bringing out your high rated player isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No, yeah, for sure, for sure. Also, one more note before I completely forget. I mean, talking about this matchup, it is our matchup of the week, so this will dominate the conversation, and we might even bring it up. But this is a double header. Kings versus Speed Demons will be going on, scheduled for 8:30, but 8:30 Eastern time, but is at the conclusion of this match. We are just about to get underway. We are just waiting a little bit long for the Rangers to get in the lobby. Um, and yeah, so I think yeah, but you do bring up a good point. Taz kind of it might be an interesting strat if you don't start Taz. Might throw some people off, but eh, best of three. I don't know how long you want to wait to pull your tricks because unlike in the preseason finale, which was a best of seven, uh, you have you have one game to figure out like if you need to make a change or else you
Yeah.
lose the series.
Yeah, when it comes to best of fives, even best of sevens, it's a lot easier to pull out your trump card. But when it comes to a best of three, you have to make that decision within, I believe, the minute that you have before the next game loads up. So it's gonna be one of those things where I want to see Taz start, but at the same time, I also want to see how the other three players on the Rangers merge together. So it's going to be interesting once we see the Rangers join. Right now, we still just have the Mustangs in here. So hopefully, I say hopefully they join soon. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think I do just want to highlight like Artemis and Rebel, both kind of they're kind of a little bit interchangeable in terms of the roster spots. Uh, Again, Waffles like liked to play a little bit loose in that preseason and the preseason finale especially. Artemis is a player that kind of surprises me in terms of what he can do on offense and just kind of pop off and just take control of a game, which given his player rating is something that you might not necessarily expect coming out of him. He can set up almost anything, but also score the goals that need to get scored. And your lower rated players they just have to be solid and just
Yeah,
kind of from there just to build on it
yeah,
with your
absolutely. I mean, I've played a lot of time with Artemis, and he's a pretty solid player, but I don't know if that matters as we have the Rangers join. And you were right, Drac. They are gonna start with Taz on their starting lineup. There it's gonna be Waffles, Taz, and Mr. Rebel versus Golden Pickle, Chop Jr., and Chiwigo. So this is gonna be a very interesting matchup.
yeah, I think save the tricks for the postseason, but for the regular season, you gotta put your best foot forward. But The teams are ready to go. We're ready to go. And just momentarily, we will be started with our match of the week. Once again, Rangers versus Mustangs. And then immediately following this will be the Kings versus the Speed Demons. So just
That'll
waiting
be a game
for,
I'm interested about.
yeah. That'll be an interesting one. We could talk about that a little bit later. Just waiting for the ready up, waiting for the cue to go.
Yeah. Yeah, like I mean, I don't know if Scraps wants us to let them know that they're all good to join, but I mean,
They'll
yeah, there we go. Scraps is
There
letting
we
them
go.
go. All the players are going to be hitting the field. And yeah, I mean with this, let's watch some Rocket League.
Delay as we get into it. Golden Pickle with a great first kickoff. Carries the ball into the Rangers half, and they're going to go to work from there. He tries to get it clear, but it's not good. But the second touch will get it out. Chop Jr. will take it to the side wall. Rebel with the center. Bad touch. Shot by Taz goes wide. Taz is probably going to want that one back, but the offense is still there on the side of the Rangers. Double commit, trying to get it clear as Taz will keep it in. He's going to go up the wall to try to challenge Chaigo. He's going to get it centered, but Chop's going to miss the clear. Rebel's not going to go for it. Waffles to air dribble, take this centered, misses the air dribble, double commit, and a little bit sloppy offense coming from the Rangers, but defensively, there's been some openings as Waffles almost has a goal, but Chop Jr. bails him out.
Rebel's gonna put one down right in front of the net. Taz is gonna look to maintain control, but I think Chop Jr. is just gonna try and clear it out, but gets a met on the wall by Mr. Rebel. Rebel's gonna be looking for the demo, gets it on Golden Pickle. Taz has the shot on, gets the bump on a Chop Jr. Waffles unfortunately isn't able to send it home. You said Taz wanted that one back. I think Waffles might want that one back too.
The Rangers are just missing the shots they need to hit, and Chop Jr. is gonna hit the crossbar. Oh no, offensive woes persist for both teams. What is going on? We do not have perfect defense by any stretch of the imagination. It is a miracle that there's still zeros on the board. Taz is going to take control of it in the Rangers half. He's going to carry it up. Chop Jr. is going to prevent it from getting out, but Waffles is going to take the loose ball up, and he's going to try to get a goal on. Chop Jr. going to clear it away. Rebel and Taz with the double commit is going to queue up a potential shot, just too soft, and Taz is going to get back in time.
Waffles is going to be up in the air. He's looking for the double tap. Is he going to get it? It bounces crossbar and down. That is very unfortunate for Waffles, as that would have been the lead that they need for I say to get the win, but like just to win this point. Chop Jr. is going to take control. Going to go up, met in the air by Rebel. It's going to get bumped off. Taz is also going to get bumped off. Chubigo's just going to maintain control. And is going to have some really great control air dribbling that towards the midfield. Chop Jr. puts it out to mid, but nobody's there to capitalize it for the side of the Mustangs.
Awkward defense from both. Taz putting the reverse lights on just to get control of that. Crossbar hits on both sides. Rangers had more good looks, but we're over halfway through the game, less than 2 minutes to go, and it is a miracle there's still zeros on the scoreboard. Chaigo's going to take it off the back wall, going to go for an air dribble 50. Both Taz and Chaigo do miss, but Golden Pickle's going to try to take control of it. Ball's going to get clear off the back wall. Taz is going to get the touchdown, just is going to miss the player, and Rebel's going to carry it in. Waffles with a shot / pass, centering it to Taz. He's going to hit it wide. Pickle with a touch. Chop with another touch to carry it out, but it's going to be left right in the waiting bumper of Waffles, who's going to 50. And Chop's going to miss another one. Chaigo's going to miss the nose. and he's gonna unable to capitalize. 1 minute to go. How has nobody scored yet?
Honestly, I'm just as shocked as you, as Rebel's gonna end up getting the clear out to the side. Gets the beat over Chop Jr. This might be the opportunity that the Rangers need. Taz is gonna look for the sidewall, but doesn't bounce the way that... I don't think it bounces the way that he wanted it to, as Chop Jr. is gonna get the 50. Taz is just going to push into the corner. Is left on 0 boost here. Gets bumped out, but I don't think Shawigo wanted to hit that ball in extra time. Just to center it out towards the mid as it gets cleared into the corner by Chop Jr. Waffle is going to maintain control. Gets met right by Chiwigo. Pickle with a great centering touch. Chop Jr.'s there. Can anybody capitalize off it? It's off the post! A pinch from Pickle and it goes off the post!
Is anybody gonna actually score this game? 3 seconds to go. Chop's gonna clear it away, but the ball, oh, one more shot by Chop's gonna get saved by Taz, and we are in overtime in game one of the match of the week. 5 shots for Rangers, 8 for Mustangs, zeros on the scoreboard. Az is going to take control in the middle, make one miss. He's makes another one miss, Chawigo, but he's going to recover and get that ball cleared. Going down the middle, Chop's going to lose a 50, but he will get the ball back to pass it over to Pickle, who's going to try to get it past Taz, but Taz is just too good, and he's going to read it. But the 50's going to get there. Chawigo flashes it across the goal mouth. Nobody home.
As Chop Jr. is going to look to put it out towards the goal, as Taz is going to beat him right there. Taz looking for the 50 on Shawigo, isn't able to. Waffles is just going to end up getting the clear out. Chop Jr. is going to end up taking possession of this ball, but Waffles is going to bang it directly back in towards the Mustangs half. Shawigo holding possession. Looks for the pass middle to Pickle, but isn't able to get it off. An awkward bounce out for the side of the Rangers. They weren't able to have anybody capitalize off it. They're just going to keep it inside this half. A minute into overtime, and the game remains scoreless.
Yeah, Waffles going up, trying to capitalize off a Taz bump, but he's going to miss the aerial, and it's going to go back to the Mustangs, who's going to go to work here. 50-50 in the corner. Taz going to knock it just past Pickle, who's going to center it out. Chop's there. Kind of hits it a little bit awkward. It goes to the side wall. Waffles with a touch, trying to get around the defender. Big whiff. It's Waffles versus Chop, and he's just out of boost. Unfortunate. That was a real opportunity, but again, just kind of one thing going wrong. Waffles on 0 boost to capitalize on the 1v1. Ball's gonna bounce in the middle, but a little bit timid, and I think it's the overtime jitters starting to take effect. Mustangs don't feel like having as many great opportunities, but Chop's gonna go for it. That's with the save. Ball's still dangerous though. Waffles is gonna clear it. Long shot. It's gonna have to get taken care of by Chop.
I mean, that is an amazing save by Taz. I don't know how much Taz can keep it up, though. As Chiwigo's going to get the reset pass one. Is just, I think, going to look for the bump, and Pickle scores! And that's an amazing shot from Pickle, and another amazing pass from Chiwigo. Setting it up like that, so Taz has to take the touch out to the corner. I mean, that is fantastic. The Mustangs take game one after, I believe that was a, 3.5 minute overtime?
At least it was close to, if not at least 3 minutes. I just kind of want to highlight, Rangers having 5 shots, had 0 in overtime. All the offense was on the Mustangs, and that's not a good sign going into game two. This first game, the end of the first game is critical for setting up momentum in game two. It's not impossible. You can always reverse it, but Rangers putting up 0 shots, 0 recorded shots, but we can't fault Taz for that. 4 saves, Rebel with 3 saves. It's just nobody wanted to score until the very end. Like, it was I would say it was a defensive showcase, but there were plenty of opportunities to score for both teams, and neither team could manage to capitalize.
I mean that yeah, no, like you said, Drag, I mean that was like obviously defensive masterclass from both teams, but an offensive masterclass from the Mustangs. They just kept pressuring and pressuring and pressuring, and eventually they got a bounce that went their way.
You got to imagine what that's going to set up for game two. Chop's going to try to get one center to Shaigo, who's going to bounce it under, I believe that was Waffles, gets it under him, and is going to open up the scoring early this time. It was under Waffles. Taz was not able to get to it. And all it took us almost 8 minutes. It took us over 8 minutes, sorry, for the first goal in game one. It takes us 11 seconds for our goal in game two. And Mustangs will lead 1-0.
I mean, yeah, as Golden Pickle's going to look to try and keep this ball in the corner. Taz is going to clear it out, but Chop Jr. is going to end up going for it. He's going for the reset. Yes, he is. It's a pass out to Chiwigo, and Chiwigo scores! I mean, that right there, that is an amazing first touch to keep it still somewhat close and close enough for you to get the reset, and an amazing pass down to Chiwigo. I mean, is that not Chiwigo getting all 3 goals so far? I think Chiwigo got the goal in the... Or no, Pickle got the first goal.
Yeah.
My apologies to the one and only Golden Pickle. I forgot.
Yeah, you gotta imagine Mustangs technically... Oh, and Chariga's gonna get his hat trick in 46 seconds. It's all it took for him to get a hat trick. And it has been all Mustangs. And I think I kind of alluded to in the end of that game one, Rangers not having any offense, and that continues. Rangers with 0 shots, 0 saves, 0 assists, and 0 goals. They have 16 points combined. That's not a good recipe. Almost a miscue on defense there, but Mustangs will take care of it. Golden Pickle gonna 50 Taz. Troiga's gonna follow up, but Taz is gonna get it around him. Chop with a pinch to keep it in the Mustangs half. Waffles will get a kind of an awkward touch on the back wall. That's gonna go high. Chop's gonna leave, but Pickle with the miscommunication. Pickle thought Chop was gonna go high with it, but instead he decided to try to go low. And you know, that's probably... They still have 3 goals to come with, but they could have been 4. Taz is going to make it 3-1, though. And he's going to try to start clawing back some of this lead.
Simple miscommunication and a double commit from Pickle and Chop Jr. leading to that goal. I mean, that is exactly what they need to do. They need to see all the misplays and mistakes that Mustangs are doing, and they need to capitalize on them. But it's pretty hard to do it when there's not a lot of mistakes to look at.
I mean, yeah, 3 goals basically off the rip for the Mustangs. And really, the Rangers did not have really much of anything to show for in the first minute. So they're just trying to claw back a deficit that they weren't awake for. And it's just kind of the ending jitters. Rebel very much awake now, getting that cleared off of the goal line. Wall's going to pounce up. Taz going to take it. Going to go for an aerial. Musty flick for a double touch. It doesn't get there. Chop's able to get up, but the ball's still dangerous. Gets cleared away. Rebel with a touch. Chop backwards, but Pickle's going to be the one to save it. Waffles and Taz both going up for it. Taz is going to get the touch, but Chop's going to clear it away. Past Taz is going to go all the way to the back corner. Rebel's going to miss touch, but Waffles will take care of it. And he's going to go for a shot. Taz with a touch that probably prevents Charigo from getting that. Waffles with the follow-up to make it 3-2. And, you know, we talk about the Mustangs exploiting the Rangers for sleeping. The Mustangs thought 3-0 was good, and they stopped playing. It's 3-2 now, 2 minutes to go. and Rebel with a great kickoff.
Absolutely, as Waffle's gonna end up 50ing out Chiwigo. Taz is gonna look to take it off to the side. Doesn't have the boost. Pickle's in the air. Pickle isn't gonna be able to get the double tap as Taz is gonna thwart off any attempt. Played out to the middle by Taz. Chiwigo's gonna meet him there. Chop Jr. ends up getting bumped almost into an aerial by his teammate. Chop Jr. is going to miss. Waffle might be looking to play the bump, but Chiwigo is going to get right around it. And unfortunately, Taz isn't able to fake out Golden Pickle. Pickle's going to look for the shot, isn't able to get it. Waffle's going to take the ball and just clear it out. They really need to get this third goal to take it to overtime.
I mean, you don't want to get swept in game one, and Pickle is going to attempt to make the lead, double the lead, but is going to get taken care of. Taz is going to take care of another wayward ball. Not necessarily a shot, but, you know, just a bouncing ball getting close. Rangers keeping up the pressure. Critically, if Rangers has the pressure, or Mustangs have the pressure, mind you, Rangers can't, and Rangers can't come back. So, you know, it's important here that the Rangers are able to get the ball and get some offense going with 40 seconds to go. Taz is going to take control in midfield, try to get it around. Tries to do too much against a Mustang side that was completely back and ready. Taz is going to get the center for a second touch. Everybody misses. Waffle puts it up. Chiwigo's going to get it clear, but Rebel's going to go for the bounce shot. Chop going to take care of it. Taz is going to get to it before any of the Rangers, or any of the Mustangs can. Sorry. Waffles with the shot. Chiwigo goes high. Oh, that was a miscue. That was a huge defensive lapse. Kind of gets ramped up the side wall, and the momentum carries him just over the ball. 13 seconds left. The game is tied. Are we going to another overtime?
Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked. We might be getting back-to-back overtimes. Unless Golden Pickle and, you know, the rest of the Mustangs have something to say about it. But right now, a good clear by Taz. Taz is just going to kill it, and we go to overtime.
Just to refresh everybody on the rules of the QRLS regular season, even if the Mustangs do win, we will still play the third game for points and for pride, but Rangers would very much like for that not to happen and to go to a game 3 without having a sweep and maybe have the potential of still winning this series. You do get a point for going to overtime regardless, so both teams will walk away with points, and if the Rangers can pull out the win here, that's going to be all the better. Chiwigo with a save. Ball's going to bounce harmlessly mill. Chop and Waffles with the 50-50. But everybody forgets about the goal. Mustangs just leave the ball, go for boost. Chiwigo looks like he was going for the 100 that wasn't there. And Rangers will take game 2. Both games going into overtime. This is crazy.
Yeah, no, this is definitely something. I mean, at least I will say I'm very glad to the two teams that the overtime wasn't 3.5 minutes long. A little bit glad, but I will say the Rangers did really well at capitalizing on any time that the Mustangs defense was just not there. And I'm not saying they didn't have defense. I mean, look at the saves. 2 for Chiwigo, 2 for Chop Jr., and 1 for Golden Pickle. But at the same time, I mean, there are times where those goals just they shouldn't happen as often. And there are goals that absolutely should have happened that were saved beautifully by both teams.
Yeah, Mustangs and Waffles both walking away with hat tricks. Waffles also getting a savior. It feels like the Rangers now are dialed in. They're warmed up. they have the bead on the Mustangs' goal. So the Mustangs can't be as careless with the ball anymore. They have to be responsible in front of their own net. But I do just want to give an apologies to Scraps, who was trying to convince us that his series was gonna be the best this week. I'm sorry, but your match of the week pick was spot on, barring a complete collapse in this series or in this match. This series has given us everything we've wanted. We are going with Pickle, going to shot for Charigo, and like games 1 and 2 and 3, Mustangs will start off the scoring. God, I keep messing up the teams. Oh man, I keep wanting to say the Rangers.
I know
I feel like
it happens so often.
I'm just so used to the Rangers doing well in the preseason now. I'm like, oh, that's getting goals early. Yeah, that's got to be the Rangers. But Mustangs showing up in force, showing that if they played the Rangers in the preseason, the match result might have been different.
Yeah, I mean, very well it could have been. Chiwigo's going to end up getting a free ball with a little bit of a misplay. Gets the flick over one, isn't able to get the flick past Taz, as Chop Jr. is just going to look to try and control it. Is playing backwards, has bumped their own teammate. It's not going to roll in, but Waffles is going to pitch it mid for Taz, and Chop Jr. is going to be there with an amazing save. Chiwigo's going to be up. Mr. Rebel's going to be beaten out wide. And looks like, I don't know what that looked like.
I do just want to highlight, at risk of causing anxiety, that was a great read by Chop Jr., realizing Waffles did not have the shot with how fast he was going to go, and kind of just going for the pass, read it perfectly, and was able to get it cleared before Taz was able to tap it in. That type of read is like the type of defensive reads that you do have to make when you are on your own in a 2v1 situation. With Taz carrying it back, gonna go for the centering high off the wall. Waffles get the shot, and he's gonna hit the post and in. 1-1, and this game is very much alive.
Absolutely. For a brief moment, when I saw Waffles shoot that ball, I thought it was going post and, like, out. I had a brief moment where I thought it was going post and out, but seeing it go post and in, that is some clean shooting, because it's very, you know, difficult for some. I know, and I say this from personal experience, to go post and in, because that ball feels like it has a mind of its own some days.
Yeah, and also it is kind of risky going with the post. You know, you're trying to carry as far out wide as possible, but if you do hit the post, it does give just a fraction of a second longer for the defense to respond, especially if you hit like the complete like side of the post and it shoots all the way to the other side of the net before going in. Kaz with a shot, but gets cleared away at the last possible second. Choigo's going to take that out of danger. Waffles whiffs the 50. Chop and Taz in the corner. Balls up. Pickle off the crossbar. And Waffles is going to be one-on-one with Chop Jr. Does he realize it? Yes, he does. But Waffles is going to carry that to the corner. Mr. Rebel going to try to center it now, but nothing. Chop and Choigo both going for it. Now that leaves Taz and Pickle alone. Pickle, the lowest rated player on the Mustangs, shutting down the highest rating player on the Rangers. You love to see that every time.
You know, I'm gonna say something real quick. I don't even know if it's highest rated. He is one of the highest rated in the QRLS, I believe. There's a couple other 270s and there's a couple 275s, but as I'm saying this, apparently Choigo like I said, Choigo absolutely dunks Taz, and now gives them the head up in game number 3. And as we say that,
Has had enough. Nope. No,
that's
we're
the
not
caster
gonna.
curse right there.
We're gonna have a kickoff goal. Welcome to the casting booth, Zyrek.
I mean, great kickoff from Mr. Rebel. Just kills it perfectly.
Kickoff goals can be sometimes random, but if you do have a kind of a planned set piece, I'm guessing the call was there to kill it and kind of stuff it, and then coming up with Taz coming up Broadway, just absolutely zero chance for any of the defenders to respond. Can kind of get tough in that situation, and you kind of look at yourself being like, we just got outplayed there. But survive the kickoff, and then the game kind of starts unfolding. But as the game unfolding, Taz is still dangerous. Is going to get another goal, his second of this game, and he's gonna give Rangers the lead for the first time, a lead in regulation.
And honestly, a great goal as well to happen, as we save this, and it might be looking like the Mustangs are coming back for some, I say for some blood, correction, for some goals in Rocket League. As Chop Jr. is going to get it. Is he going to play it around 2? He's going to get the 50 and he scores! Chop Jr. is going to take the lead that they had and say, you know what? That's, how about a tie game for you? Amazing 50.
He saw Choigo dunk Taz, and he's like, what's better than dunking the best player on the team? Dunking 2 players on the team. Absolutely fantastic goal. It's not a pretty one, but one of those grinding goals that you need in order to get yourself unstuck with 30 seconds to go. Now 20. Ball hits to the corner with Taz. Waffles will get there before anybody on Mustangs, but the ball gets centered to nobody. Pickle's going to clear it. Chop with the chance, but he's going to back off. Taz will also back off, and it looks like these teams are content to go to a third overtime, but Pickle's going to go for it. Shall we go with the follow-up? No dice. They were not content to go to overtime. Mustangs with a final stab at it, but like games 1 and 2 before, we're going to overtime.
In my few, I think I've been casting this, QRLS for at least a full season, pretty much. I have not seen a game where I have not seen a match where all 3 games go to overtime. Now, I might be crazy, and there might have actually been a game at that point where that went to triple overtime, but this is absolutely crazy to see. And as Chop Jr. is just going to look for control, sees Waffles up, isn't going to bother. Waffles going to bang it too high off of the post. Taz is going to maintain control. Chop's going to play it out to the side. Is going to get picked up by Chiwigo. No double tap coming out. Waffle's going to look to clear it out right into Golden Pickle, and a 50 is going to come out. Chop Jr. pops it off the side. Chiwigo's there, but is going to get dunked by Taz. And Pickle clears it out.
Yeah, Waffles with the touch, trying to get it centered to Taz, but Chop Jr. is going to take it. Rebel's going to get the 50-50 to keep it in the Mustangs' half. Waffles flying up now. A little bit of a soft touch is the easy clear by Chop. Pickle misses the read off the wall, bounces to Taz, but Chop Jr. is there. Pickle, once again, getting the ball picked from over his head. Chiwigo to Chop Jr. doesn't go. Chiwigo now going to take control in the Mustangs' half, but kind of miscues it. Rebel punches it up, but nobody's there. Chop Jr. is going to take this to the sidewall. Waffles will beat him to it. Gets centered. Pickle's there, but gets touched away to the other side wall. Long shot by Chop Jr. Hits the crossbar. That was, I believe, Waffles going up for it. Missed it. Another whiff, but gets cleared away by Rebel. Pickle trying to get this center, but Taz is going to carry it. And both teams lurking for a goal here.
Yeah, absolutely. As Waffles does pop it up, Mr. Rebel's going to look to keep it inside. It's going to be a pass up to go to Pickle. Chiwigo's going to take it, looks for the 50. Does get it a little bit around Taz, as it does make the rest of the Rangers awkward. Chop Jr. is going to settle it down towards the midfield as Taz is just going to maintain control. He's going to look to go up. Golden Pickle's going to say no thank you. And Chop Jr. gets bumped immediately off of that ball. Golden Pickle's there. I was really expecting Golden Pickle to get the bump onto Waffles and somebody to follow it, but
Yeah, unfortunately, just kind of missing it a little bit there. Uh, Almost a dangerous situation. Dangerous situation the other way. Taz waits till the last possible second to save it, but ball's not out. Waffles gets it just clear from a Chop Jr. center. Ball is in midfield right now. Chop with a touch that goes over the head of Taz, but Rebel is there. Chawiga with the center. Pickle with the 50 on Waffles. Taz is going to miss it. Chop Jr. with the shot, double touch, read perfectly by Rebel. He's going to touch that away. Chawiga with the awkward 50, but he will go his way. Chop with the follow-up as well. Taz demoed. That's going to be maybe, that might be something, but not quite. Ball's still lurking, but Rangers have been able to handle it. Taz with a scary looking save, but that gets cleared away once more. Rangers gotta get it out of their half ASAP. Chop with another 50 to get it centered to Pickle, but it's gonna get cleared away. Not fully though. Chop Jr. once again with a touch is gonna go back in the corner of Rangers. Waffles is gonna take it, try to carry it out, and he's gonna finally get it out of their own half.
yeah, and as we say that, Taz looking, I want to say looking for the Psycho. And honestly, as I say with every Psycho attempt, I respect the effort. The effort will always be respected as Chop Jr.'s left in a 1v1. Taz is going to look to bang it off. A little bit of an awkward touch as Golden Pickle comes flying in out of left field, I should say. And does get it around one. Waffles is going to pass it out to Taz. It is going to be met there by Chop Jr., but Mr. Rebel's going to be there. Isn't able to get the touch out. A little bit of a double commit as well, but we go with an amazing read to get it past Taz. Can Chop Jr. get this double tap, finish the game? Unfortunately not, but Taz is very awkward. And Taz being a little bit awkward was just what they needed. Golden Pickle's going to end up putting it back off the crossbar right for Chawigo. And I mean, is that another hat trick for Chawigo?
Believe so. Yes, it is. Yeah, Taz maybe hanging out in the air for a little bit too long, just kind of drains his boost, and then Mustang's able to capitalize a sloppy finish to an amazing series. Chawigo with the hat trick, Chop Jr. with the savior. Holy smokes. Scraps, you picked a great match of the week. I don't think you were gonna get better than that for week one. Three overtime series and just different flavors. We had a very grindy game where nobody could score. Follow that up with a amazing comeback and then a back and forth battle for this game three. Whew.
I mean, no, I totally agree with you. Scraps, props to you. This was an amazing match to pick to be our match of the week. I mean, three back to back overtimes. That is not something that is very common at all. I mean, I don't even want to say, especially when it comes to QRLS. I mean, that's for anything. Even RLCS, seeing three back to back overtimes is not something you see very often.
Yeah, and that's gonna give these teams the maximum points for a series. The maximum amount of points in total for a series, not necessarily the maximum amount of points one team or the other could score. But that's insane. I believe that if I have my numbers right, that's gonna be 5 and 4 points. So that is That's crazy. That's wild. So, yeah.